Some of you will also feel comfortable in lotus. So I always ask you to honor yourselves. And if you're sitting up, just move the flesh a little bit side to side. I'm just going to grab a little quick drink. And today, place your hands up or down on your thighs. And just close your eyes, softly gaze to the tip of the nose. And as I said earlier, if this is all you do on your mat today, you're practicing yoga. Enjoy it. And start to find a little depth to the breath. Find a little stillness and softness to the quality of the breath. And find the ease in the breath. So the breath should never be uneasy. It should always be smooth. So when you get caught up perhaps in the physicality of the movements of the asana practice, and you lose your breath, back off. Come back to the breath. And find some peace and stillness in it. Take a few more breaths just sitting here, nice and easy. Feel like your shoulders are pressing down, crown of your head is lifting up. There's a gentle gaze towards the tip of your nose. If that's not comfortable for you, just find a soft gaze. And then start to notice the opening of the chest, the expansion of the chest on the inhale. And then the release of all physical and mental tension on the exhale. One more breath here, and then I want you to empty that breath completely. And then bring your hands to your heart center. Take an inhaling breath for 4 counts. If you can't do 4 counts, just do 2. Pause at the top of that breath. When you pause at the top of that breath, pull your belly button to your spine and lift your pelvic floor muscles up. And when you're ready to empty out, your body will signal it's time to empty the breath. Let it go. Release the bandhas that you just held on to. Pause at the very end of your breath. And begin again. So inhale for 4 counts. Pause for maybe 2 to 4 to 6 counts for some of you. Engage your bandhas, your pelvic floor, your belly to spine, maybe a little bit of that throat lock. And then empty the breath completely, letting go of those locks. And pause again. So I want you to do this for your own counts for about 2 to 3 rounds. And just find a steady, full, complete breath. Pause when you reach the fullness of the in-breath. And pause when you reach the fullness of the out-breath. And when you've completed your final round of that breath, empty everything out and just let your hands come forward and fold forward. Don't rush it. I'll know that you're ready by your arms reaching forward. Let your head go, let it relax. Inhale and exhale. So we can always find peace in the middle of a storm. I know Sarah and Alex are in the middle of a storm there, and look at them on their mat just behaving. And that's yoga, finding your way through the storm. Walk over to your right side. Maybe your head touches your knee, maybe it doesn't. Can you reach your left arm a little bit ahead of your right, but keep your left sitting bone down? Take another breath here and walk your hands a little bit more to the right side, and then just sweep the left arm up and over so your right hand stays connected to the floor. Your left arm is up and over your head, and you're grounding through both sitting bones. Now, if the right forearm is on the floor, walk the fingers out and stretch the arms straight, and then see if you can get a little bit more twist through the torso. Again, staying grounded in the hips. Rise up to the inhale. Arms come up and over. Exhale, release your hands. Switch the cross of your legs. Shake out your legs. Switch the cross. This is probably the more uncomfortable cross for you. Bring the arms back overhead when you're there. Exhale, fold down the center. Walk your hands forward. Keep your hips connected to the earth. Look forward, inhale. And exhale, a little bit deeper. So you might feel this a little bit more in one hip than the other, particularly if this is not a side that you go to often. And then walk over to your left side, right arm longer than left. Keep the right hip connected to the earth. Relax your shoulders. Breathe in and breathe out. And then take yourself a little bit more to the left side so that your left arm, maybe the forearms raised on the floor, and the right arm comes up and we rotate towards the right side. Right hip rounded to the earth. Inhale, straighten your left arm if it's not, and rotate a little bit more. Use it as leverage to help rotate through the spine. And then on the inhaling breath, come back to center, arms all the way up. Exhale, the hands behind your back. Those of you who took a shot might feel this a little bit. Fingers in either direction. So I want you to turn your fingers whichever way feels right to you. As you lean back, pull your forearms to the floor, release your legs, shake them out, and place your feet on the floor as wide as your mat. So it's not too big. Let your knees drop in, and then go ahead and walk yourself all the way down to the floor. So your knees are touching each other and they're not kneed. Take your arms overhead and grab opposite elbows. Whichever one comes up is fine. Notice there's a slight arch to the back, so maybe tilt your pelvis so you have a little bit more imprinted spine. Full deep breath in, full deep breath out, and as you cross your arms, switch the cross of the arms. Just shift one arm on top. Maybe again, it feels different just like it did with your legs. Inhale. And exhale. On the next inhale, open up your arms. Good. Open up your legs and let the knees fall to the right side. Option to put your right ankle above the left knee. Get a nice stretch from the outside of that left hip all the way down the outside to the outside of the knee. Find the expanse through the torso. Breathe in and breathe out. So just like gravity, the weight of the legs carry you down to the floor. Don't force it. Never put any stress onto your knee joint. Next breath, we come back. If you're cross-legged, take the leg off and come over to the other side. And if it feels appropriate for you, just take the left ankle above the right knee, if that's the side you're on. And allow the weight of that leg to help carry you down. Just watching to see. Come back to the center, release the foot if it's on. Keep your knees straight. Walk your feet back in line with your hips. Bring your arms down by your side. And let's just do a little bridge here. So first I want you to imprint your spine, turn your pubic bone to the sky, and then just lift the buttocks off the floor. Not your back, just your buttocks. So squeeze really tight into your buttocks. And then release it all the way down to the tailbone. And then take it one more time. This time we're going to start to peel the spine off the floor. You're in your bridge. We're not here for too long. Big toes push down to the floor, just kind of releasing the spinal twisting. Bring the arms, if you'd like, over your head. Maybe they touch the floor, maybe they don't. Reaching in two directions. So point your toes forward, and as you energetically draw your heels towards your buttocks, draw your buttocks towards your heels. Last breath here, gang. As you exhale, articulate your spine down one vertebrae at a time. The tailbone's last. The arms come by your side. Now grab a hold of your thighs. Lift your head and shoulders up, chin to chest, and see if you could pull yourself all the way up, cross your legs, and come back onto your hands and knees. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders, hips and shoulders width apart. Wag your tail a little bit side to side. And then take that wagging and make it circular. Start off small. Go big when and if you want, if your body says, I'm ready today or right now. So big, juicy circles, shoulders, wrists, hips, knees, ankles, fingers, toes get involved. Follow it along with your breath. and then return to the other direction. Maybe you go small, then go big, then maybe you go big, then go small. And eventually we come back to stillness in a tabletop position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Tuck your toes underneath you. Push back to your heels and rise up onto your shins. Bring your arms up overhead. Bring your hands to your heart center. Interlace your fingers, turn the palms inside out. Pull your belly into your spine. Round out your back. Inhale, rise to sit on your shins, toes tucked under, arms up. Hands to the floor, release the tops of your feet, pat them out. Good. Inhale, tuck the toes again, sorry, not too long. And then find your way to a soft, easy downward facing dog. Bending your knees, lifting your hips in the air, let your head hang down. Pushing the heel of the hand down. Now think about spreading your fingers apart from each other and from the center of your mat. So think about pulling this may not be great for those of you who were recently vaccinated, okay? So just you might feel this in your arm. But pull your pinky toes towards the edges of your mat. So start to get some strong conversation in the upper arm. My knees are bent, my chest is pressing towards the thighs. Take another breath. Now bend just one leg, doesn't matter which one, and shift the hips a little bit off to the side. And then just bend the other leg. So yogi's choice today, which leg you want to go to first. Otherwise I'm usually pretty right oriented. Now come back to center, bend both knees again, lift your hips in the air, pull your pinkies towards the edges of your mat, and then see if you want to straighten your legs any amount. And then think about the pinky toes doing the same thing that the arms are now doing. So you're going to find that action in the outer upper hips, or the whole outer thigh. Hang your head down. Downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Chest towards your thighs. Let everything nice and easy. Remember, keep the stillness and the soft quality of your breath. Soften your knees and take little tiny steps as you walk your feet to the top of your mat, standing in forward fold. Get your knees bent enough that your palms press on the floor in front of your toes. Your head is down. And then for some of you, this will feel like you're going to go into a handstand. But I just want you to activate back to that belly button pulling up, the pelvic floor pulling up, and now your chin towards your chest, creating some length in your cervical spine. Here, just point the crown of the head towards the floor. On the next inhaling breath, rise to your fingertips, look forward. Place your hands on your shins, come up a little bit higher. My knees are still bent. Crown of the head to tailbone in one long line. Draw the navel point in, pelvic muscles up. Draw the arms out to the side, like you're flying. Breathe. Now press down through the big toe, ball of the foot, heel of the foot, pinky toe. Rise up to stand all the way. Interlace your fingers above your head. Lift out of your waistline. Good. Bend the arms behind your head. Let your head rest into your arms. Make sure you're not sticking your booty up too much. Right? Tuck your tailbone underneath you. Lift your heart. Lean to your right side as you exhale. Point your elbow towards the floor. Point your other elbow towards the sky and maybe rotate your torso just a little bit. But remember, now I want you to feel that pinky toe reaching towards the edge of the mat. One more breath. Inhale back to center. Exhale up and over to the left side. Open the right side up a little bit more. Pull your pinky toes towards the edges of your mat. Inhale back to center. Lift your heart. Exhale. Bring your elbows by your ears and tuck your chin in. Bend your knees and slowly roll down to the floor. Let the hands come down to the floor. Halfway lift on your fingers, shins, or toes. Look up. Exhale, fold your body in half. Let your head come down. Big toe, little toe, ball of the foot. Heel down on the floor, and then feel the edges of the mat, or the pinky toes towards the edges of the mat. Chin to chest as you ragdoll standing. Roll the shoulders back and around. Heel toe your feet together. Bring your hands together in a prayer. Good. Just ground yourself. Take a moment of silence, of peace, of noticing how your body is acting today. Then cross all the fingers but the thumb and forefinger so you have a steeple finger mudra. Arms come up overhead with that steeple. Biceps for some will be right by the ears. Some of you can get your arms behind you, but don't let that arch your back. Lift out of your waistline like you're being pulled up to the ceiling. And then lean up and over to the right side. Squeeze your heels together, squeeze your inner thighs together, and pull yourself over to that right side. Crescent lunge or crescent pose. Breathe in, or half moon pose in some lineages. Come back to center, inhale. Up and over to the other side. Pull your right arm with your left, lift your heart open. Tuck the tailbone underneath you. Rise back up to standing, lift your heart up. As you open the arms into a cactus, exhale, open your heart all the way up. And then bring the arms behind your back, palms together, fingers together, knuckles down, lift your heart. And fold over, separate your feet as much as you need just to stay stable. Arms up, head down. Release your hands to the floor, halfway lift, inhale. Right leg steps all the way back, exhale, bring the right knee to the floor. Just check out your alignment first, and then knee over the ankle, and then you're not sitting on top of that right knee. And then bring your arms back overhead. Your toes can be tucked or untucked, doesn't matter. Lift up and out of your waistline. Like again, just like you're being pulled to the ceiling. Good, ground the hips. As you exhale, chin to chest, round and curl, forehead to knee, fingers in between your first two toes. Inhale, pull it back up. Exhale, release your hands, straighten your front leg, toes up or down. Fold over your shins, breathe. Say hello to those hamstrings today. One more breath. Rebend the front knee on this next breath. Tuck your back toes underneath you. Step back to a downward facing dog. We've been here, so maybe you need to go to your knees first. Downward facing dog, hips up in the air, chest towards your thighs. On the toes. Pull the knees up, and Rachel and I are probably laughing at the same thing. Forehead reaching forward, belly pulls in. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, lower your knees, chin and chest to the floor, elbows hug the rib cage. Come on your belly and lower into a low cobra. Elbows squeeze in, doing just great job. Crown of the head forward, toes back, push your pubic bone down, squeeze everything close to midline. As you empty the breath, release your chest to the floor. Sit back on your heels, tuck your toes underneath you, and lift your knees up for downward facing dog. Breathe in, and breathe out. Looking forward, come to a high plank once again. Lower your left knee to the floor and step your right foot in between your two hands. And just adjust so your right knee's over the ankle and you're not sitting on top of that back heel. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up. Interlace your fingers. Good. First two fingers release, biceps by the ears, lift your heart all the way up. So keep pushing that left hip forward, squeezing your glutes, everything close to midline. Chin to chest as you exhale, round and curl, biceps by the ears. Fold over your right leg, fingers between the first two toes. On an inhale, we rise back up. Exhale, open the arms, release them to the floor. Straighten your front leg. Maybe the toes come up or not. But pull the right hip back towards the center of your mat. Pull the left hip towards the center of your mat. So you might have to bend your knees. I mean, you know, these things happen. It's okay if you bend your knees. Inhale, rebend the front knee. Tuck your left toes underneath you. Step back to a downward facing dog. Hips up in the air, chest towards your thighs. Inhale back to a high plank, looking forward, top of a push-up. Lower knees, chest, and chin to the floor. Glide on your belly, low cobra. Elbows squeezing, crown of the head forward, tailbone back. Empty the breath, come down, sit on your heels, tuck your toes. Back to your downward facing dog, hips up in the air. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Rise up high on your tippy toes. Bend your knees and look forward. Make your way to the top of your mat, however you like to get there. Halfway lift when you get there. Empty the breath when you get down. And ragdoll to stand all the way up to standing. Tadasana, arms by your side. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands through center to the floor. Shins or blocks, halfway lift, inhale. Step your right leg back all the way, either lower to the knee or stay on the ball of your foot. Inhale, rise the arms all the way up, interlace your fingers, release thumb and forefinger. Hug everything towards midline, make that back leg strong. Chin to chest as you exhale, round and curl. Maybe your hands touch the floor, maybe they don't. Pull the belly all the way up and in. Good, and then inhale your way back up. Sink a little bit lower in your hip. And then lower your hands. Exhaling, straighten your front leg, toes turn up towards your face. Hug hips towards midline, fold your head on top of your shin. You know, it's an idea of where we're headed. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. One more breath. Good. Rebend your front knee. Keep your hands on the floor. Hug everything to midline. Draw up through your pelvic muscles and step back to a high plank this time, right into your high plank. Look forward and either bend your knees and bend your knees or drop just with a straight leg. Roll up over your toes, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. You can modify as we did the other 2 times. Always feel free to do that. One more breath. Look forward, bring your right foot between your 2 hands. Get stable before you come up. So adjust yourself, move your hips to the midline, press down through the big toe, and then rise up. Bring your arms overhead. Maybe you can interlace one finger over, it'll feel funky. And release thumb and forefinger as you come up with an inhale. Chin to chest as you exhale, round and curl. Keep the knee over the ankle, pull the belly button up into the spine. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink a little lower. Inhale, release your hands. Doing great, guys. And straighten your front leg. Toes up or down, your choice. Hips move towards the midline. Squeeze everything towards your middle. Inhale and exhale. Fold over that right leg. Keep breathing, gang. Inhale. And then exhale. Rebend your front knee. Stay here for a breath. Plant your palms. Step back to a high plank. You can go right through your vinyasa or go to a downward dog or even child's pose. Add push-ups if that's in your game today. Downward dog is where we meet. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Send the breath all the way. Wrap it around rib cage to rib cage. Hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder. Then rise up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees, look towards the front of your mat and step to the top. Fly, walk, hop, do whatever you need to do. Halfway lift. Empty the breath, exhale. This time, big breath to take you to the top. Bring your hands together in prayer at your heart center. So you should be again at the top of your mat. Open up your eyes. Release your arms and stretch overhead with an inhale. Fold down your way to exhale. Hands on floor, shins or blocks. Halfway lift, inhale. Bend your knees, plant your palms, walk, step, float, hop, fly. Chaturanga Dandasana, either to your knees or straight leg. Push up, skip it, and meet in downward dog if that's your gig today. And stay in downward dog for a few breaths. Feel the pinkies reaching of the feet and the hands, reaching towards the outer edges of your mat. So you really get this nice spreading action. Again, it's a lot of internal energy, not so much what we'll see on the outside. Rise up onto your toes, bend your knees. Make your way to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold your body in half. Inhale, reach up to stand. Bring the hands to your heart. Exhale, bring the hands down by your side. Let's do that again. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, fold through center your way. Halfway lift, inhale. If you're only stepping, use the other foot to get you back. Lower down through your push-up, adding push-ups, taking away push-ups. Upward dog, downward dog, hips up in the air. A couple breaths here. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time, rise up onto your toes. Bend your knees, look forward, make your way to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Ride your breath to stand all the way up. Bring your hands to your heart center. Arms by your side. One more time, Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, arms up all the way. Exhale, fold through heart center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, make your way through plank, through push-up, through upward or cobra. Downward dog is where we all meet. Back here. Breathe in and breathe out. Touch your feet together now at the back of your mat. Anytime you need to come out of this pose and just rest on your knees, it's fine, guys. So make sure you listen to your bodies. Take your right leg in the air, nice and high. Now open the right hip, but keep your torso facing the center. And then go ahead and bend the right knee. Just let the foot be loose. Let it just kind of hang out there. And work on pressing your left heel to the floor so you might get a little bit more opening in your right hip. Play with it, move through it if you feel the need, or just stay there for another breath. Now keep your knee bent. Turn your hips squared again. Bring the right knee to your chest. Stay in dog for a moment. Round and curl. Then shift forward to plank and step your right foot in between your two hands. Adjust it. Take the back foot and place it on its side. So the toes are pointing a little bit more forward. It's about 40 to 45 degrees or so. Now bring that right hip towards the midline. Left pinky toe towards the floor. Rise up first onto your fingertips. Find the gripping inward of all your muscles. Fingers are just hovering over the floor. And then rise up with your hands down by your side. Check out the right knee. Make sure it's not ahead of the ankle. Make sure that you can sink your hips low without taking that knee too far forward. Think about lowering the hips. Arms are still by your side. Inhale. Exhale, bring your arms up shoulder height. Thumbs up to the sky. Pull the shoulders back and down. Turn your torso just a little bit to the right, so you're really just almost centering yourself here. Then bring the arms up overhead. You can interlace your fingers as we've done earlier, or you can keep your hands separated. Breathe in, breathe out. You see what needs you have today. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Now, as you empty the breath, release the hands to the floor. Straighten your legs so your back foot is still on its side. Pull that right hip back. Some of you may have to turn that back foot forward, so that's okay. Fold over your right shin. Inhale and exhale. Bring your right hand on the inside of your right foot, or maybe a little further behind it. Bring your left hand to your left hip, and then rotate to the left side of your mat. You might have to adjust that back leg to help you with that. Bring the left arm up over your shoulder. Gaze up or gaze down. Using the strength and the energy in your legs, rise up to standing. Open up your arms. Adjust your shoulders and hips. So I'm going to adjust my back leg a little bit. Feel free to do the same. Reaching, you should hide your left hand with your right hand. You should hide your left foot with your right foot. Now move your hips to the left side. Move your torso to the right side. Thumbs up to the sky now. Reach out, 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 and then reach the right arm down, left arm up, and stack your shoulders. Pull your knees up. Press your big toes into the earth. Good, nice triangle reach. Breathe. Shoulders stack. It's as if you're back or against a wall, and you're putting that left shoulder back against the wall and that left hip as well. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath. Look down at your right toes on the inhale. Rebend the right knee. Warrior two as you exhale. I want you to spin that back foot forward again. Warrior one. So where we started. Inhale. And then turn your torso a little bit more towards the right. Nice and strong in that right hip. Inhale. And exhale the hands to the floor. Step back, take your vinyasa or skip it. So that vinyasa is that push up, the back bend, and the back flexion of the spine. Breathe in, breathe out. Bring your feet together. Left leg in the air, nice and high, open the left hip. Bend the left knee and let it just kind of hang out there. Keep pushing the weight into the left arm as much as the right arm. Breathe in, breathe out. Anything you want to do with that left foot is open to you. Good. Big hip circles or whatever. Yeah, if you've sat in a college tour for 10 days, you probably want to move those hips a little bit. Now, turn your torso forward. Keep your dog and round and curl your spine. So you're still in a downward dog, but your knees at your chest. Then we shift into our plank. Step the left foot in between the hands. turn the back foot on its side. So you might have to shorten your stance, you might have to widen the width of the stance, then pull the hip towards the middle, rise up onto your fingertips or just hover over your front leg. Inhale and exhale. Use the strength of your legs to rise up. Keep the arms down by your side. Just check out if you need to make any adjustments on that back leg or the front leg. Then bring your arms out, shoulder height, thumbs up. Breathe. Inhale the arms up. Hands don't have to touch, they don't have to clasp. Turn your shoulders and torso a little bit towards the left side, reaching up, warrior one, inhale. Now, can you sink a little bit lower and get that thigh parallel to the floor without pooching out the ribs here? So pull everything towards, knit towards the middle. There's a lot of action going on here. As you exhale, bring your hands to the floor. Straighten your front leg and decide, do you need to turn the back foot on its side or forward, or are you good where you're at? Fold over your left leg, left shin. Inhale and exhale. So you're folding, you're not collapsing, you're not dumping. That left big toe, if it's on the floor, is pressing into the floor. Okay. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your left hand inside. Turn your back foot a little bit more on its side, and then draw that left hip back to center. Right arm traces up to the sky. We're just here for a transition. Look down at your left foot. Rise up to stand facing the right side of your mat. Now, you might have to adjust the back leg or the hips or both. So shoulders over hips, reach the arms in two directions. Look at your left hand, thumbs up to the sky. Move your hips to the right side, move your torso to the left side. Go out as far as you can go without collapsing. Then bring your left hand down, right arm up, tuck your tailbone under, Alex. Breathe. Yeah, breathe. Yes, I'm watching. Breathe in and out. Reaching in two different directions. Bottom side of the body lifts up. Again, it's like you're against a wall, so the whole right side of your body will go against the wall. So if your booty's out, you're probably not going to get both sides onto the wall. Breathe in, breathe out. Look down on the inhale. Empty it out. Now on the next inhale, we rise back up, warrior two, as you exhale. Good. Windmill down. Take your vinyasa your way. Come all the way through. Add push-ups because you can, and take away because you can. Downward dog, exhale, head to floor, chest towards thighs. Walk your hands back to your feet, back of the mat. Coming into a standing forward bend, Uttanasana. Come onto your fingertips, shins or blocks, halfway lift. Good. Now bend your knees like you're sitting into a chair. My knees are apart, about hips width apart here. Take the arms out, shoulder height. Reach in two directions. Now reaching in four directions, east, west, north, and south. So the top of my head to my tailbone and fingertip to fingertip. Good. Now, go into your tug of war. Bring your arms in front of you. Sit your weight back in your heels. Keep low as you lift your torso up. Chair pose. Sorry, Jane. Push your weight into your heels. Maybe lift your toes so you kind of recognize that. And then push all the way down to rise all the way up. Exhale. Arms down by your side. Bring your feet a little bit closer. Hands to your heart center. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your knees again. Sit back into your chair. Lift your torso up off your thighs. Hook your left arm outside your right thigh. And now that left knee wants to shoot forward, so I want you to bend your knees a little bit more, drop your seat a little bit more, and use your arm against your thigh to help rotate the spine. Look up at your right elbow. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Good. Come back to center and fold in half. Straighten your legs, let your head go down. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend your knees. Good, so we're a little closer than we were last time. Bring your arms behind you. Reach back behind you, like you're downhill skiing, and then take that back into your tug of war. Reaching. So, you know, when you're in a tug of war, if you get carried forward, maybe a whole team is going to fall on top of you. So you want to lean back so that you pull the other side over to you, right? A little color war experience here. Now, bring your torso up halfway, shoulders down. Sit back as much as you can, and then drive through your feet, rise up to standing. Bring your hands to your heart. Your feet are a little bit closer than hips width apart. Bend your knees again, chair pose. Take your right elbow and bring it outside your left knee. Now that left knee's going to want to knock in, that right knee's going to want to go forward. So those of you who might even need a block to put between your knees, that'll keep you kind of honest. You want to work the legs apart from each other. At the same time, you want to drop your hips down, and you want to hook your arm outside your thigh to give you a little bit of that twist. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more big breath, guys. As you exhale, fold in center, legs straighten, head goes down. Halfway lift, inhale. Walk your hands back to a downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa or don't. Come forward if you want to, or stay in your dog, or stay in a child's pose. Make your way back. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. Rise up onto your toes, bend your knees, look at your hands. Make your way to the top of your mat. However you get there is great. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Roll all the way up to stand. Bring the arms with you overhead. Bring your hands to your heart center as you exhale. And bring the arms down by your side. Open your eyes. Inhale, bend your knees. Utkatasana chair pose. One more time. Good. As you exhale, fold over your legs. Hang your head to shin. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant. Make your way through chaturanga, upward, and downward facing dogs. Add push-ups if you'd like to. Good, now turn your left foot on its side, right foot steps forward. Warrior one, arms up, hug your hips to center. Empty your breath and take your vinyasa or meet in downward dog. You can skip it, but you can also add to it. Upward dog and downward dog. Turn the right foot on its side, step your left foot forward. Warrior one, arms come up. Take the full inhale to get there, and empty the full exhale through your vinyasa. Don't rush it, gang. Breathe in, and meet in downward dog as you exhale. Slow and steady wins the race. Inhale, and exhale. Turn your left foot on its side, step your right foot forward. Warrior one, hug your hips in. Exhale, release the hands, step back and flow. The flow is that sequence of your push-up all the way through your hips in the air. Right foot turns on its side, left foot steps forward, warrior one, all the way up with that inhale, all the way down with that exhale. That same exhale is your chaturanga. The next inhale is your up dog or cobra, downward dog, breathe. Inhale and exhale. I can feel it. Turn your left toes forward, turn your left toes on their side. Right foot steps forward, warrior one, inhale this time. Exhale, open, warrior two, adjust the back leg as needed. Hide the back hand with the front hand, hide the back heel with the front heel. Good. Straighten your warrior arms and legs. Adjust your shoulders. So keep your arms over your head for a second. They don't have to touch. And then just adjust so that your hips are level. You might have to shorten or take that back foot, turn it out a little bit more. Inhale. And exhale. Let's go back to triangle. Reach your arms forward, reach your hips back, and go as far out as you can. Right arm down, left arm up. Inhale. And exhale. Now rotate from the waistline. Hug the hips towards each other. Pull the knee up. And now remember, the back is against a wall here. Inhale and exhale. Can you pull your knees up towards each other or towards your hips? Pull your heels towards each other. One more breath. Now that left arm can stay up or bring it to your hip. Bend your front knee enough. Reach your hand in front or to the side. and begin to float your back leg off the floor for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon balance. Now, we did an Ardha Chandrasana earlier. That was our side bending. As I said, different lineages call things different names. So now we're in our balancing half moon. That's good. Use a block where needed. Any variations if you want to bend your knee. Good, Randy. Good, Cindy. Yeah, now pull the knee back. Kick the heel towards your buttocks so you open that hip a little bit more and open that shoulder, Ran. Yeah, rotate that. Yeah. There, good. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath here. Good. Rebend your front knee. Step back and straighten it back into your triangle pose. One more time. Inhale, reverse your triangle, left arm down, right arm up and right leg straight. Exhale, windmill, face the front of your mat. Step back and vinyasa or skip. You do whatever you need to do today, yeah? Downward dog. Right foot turns, left foot steps forward. Warrior one on the inhale, all the way up. On the exhale, turn to the right side of your mat. Warrior two. Reach in two directions. High back arm with front arm. High back heel with front heel. Sink a little bit lower. Inhale, straighten arms and legs. Adjust your hips. So bring that right hip down, left hip up, or parallel. Good. Open up the arms, move your hips right, torso to the left. Reach out as far as you can. Left arm down, right arm up. Stacking shoulders, pulling knees up. Heels squeeze together, inner thighs squeeze together. Upper thighs rotate out, breathe. Inhale and exhale. Your back is against the wall. Inhale, exhale. Now right hand can stay up or come to your hip. Soften your left knee. Take your hand on the floor or a block, and then begin to float your back leg off the floor. So I say it like it's easy. It's not easy, okay? Some of us have to go to the floor on this pose. Breathe in. I learned this pose against a wall. So, and I know Michelle loves that pose against the wall too, even though we can't see you. But if you're grabbing your top foot, go for it. But keep your torso open. Keep your upper shoulder open again. So let me, if you want to do that same thing again. Otherwise, you are in your half moon balancing. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now either bring your right hand back to your hip, soften your front knee, and we're going to step back into triangle just for the breath, or into a bent knee, and then to triangle. Breathe. Inhale, rise back up, reverse your triangle. Pull the right hip towards the left. Exhale, release, windmill down. Step back through a flow or skip it. Add to it. Downward dog, hips up. Breathe in, breathe out. Bring your feet together. Right leg in the air. Bend your left knee, bring your chest towards your thighs, so square up your hips a little bit more. Bring your right knee to your chest, round and curl, then go ahead and straighten that left leg as you come to plank. Look right below your knee and step your foot there, so it's not all the way to the top of the mat. Walk your hands back to your foot. Maybe adjust your back leg out to the side or shorter. Maybe you get blocks. Halfway lift, inhale. Pull the right hip towards midline, shoulders are square. And then bring your hands to your hips and rise up to stand. Good, so shoulders, hips, everything points forward. Take your arms behind your back, interlace your fingers, wrists, forearms, elbows, or maybe reverse prayer. Working your fingers towards your head. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and away from your ears. Lift your knees up. Come back a quarter of the way, not even halfway. And as you get there, pull the right hip back and the left hip forward. Stay right here. Don't be in a rush to go anywhere. You don't know where we're going. We're either going down or up or out, right? Good. Now start to shift your weight into that front leg. Now you know where we might be going. Left leg comes off the floor. Balancing, turning your hips squared, pointing your toes back, bringing your collarbones forward, crown of the head forward. Extend the standing leg. Good, Tish. Now point the toes. Point, point, point. There you go. Good, Rach. Good, Joe. Randy, everybody looking good. Breathe. Then step it back where it came from. So about 2 to 3 feet. Release your arms and bring them overhead, palms together. Release thumb and forefinger. Square up your shoulders and hips. Pull hips towards midline. Inhale now. Tuck your chin to your chest. We're going to round our spine and eventually either bending your knee and putting your forehead on your knee, or you don't need to bend your knee and your forehead is on your knee. So this is a rounded spine. The purpose of this is to put your forehead on your knee, and of course reverse the aging process while we're at it, right? Engaging all your bandhas like we did way back in the beginning. Chin to chest. Roll through your spine to stand. Good. Bring your hands to your heart. Straight-legged triangle, pyramid pose. Fold forward. Straight legs now. All the way down. Keep your hands on either side of your foot. Lengthen when you get there. And then fold. So this is not a rounded spine. If you start to round your spine, you might want to come up a little higher to keep the length in the spine. So we've done 2 different variations of a similar pose, yet not the same. One more breath here. Rebend your front knee, look forward, and take a big step back from your low lunge. Lower the back knee to the floor. Relax the back foot down. Good. Walk your hands out a little bit in front of you. Maybe your hands are going to touch the floor. Maybe some of you can even get your forearms down to the floor. And then if you'd like to, bend your left knee and grab it with your right hand behind you. So here again, some of you have options. You can have both hands holding on. You can have one hand on the forearm. You can have your arm reaching out a little bit further, or you can do some grand, beautiful back bend here. Breathe in, breathe out. Hugging hips still towards midline. One more breath. We're not here forever. And then release the foot carefully if you're holding it. Walk your hands back in. Tuck your left toes underneath you. Plant your palms. Kick your right leg in the air, 3-legged. Open up the hip. If you'd like to flip your dog today, take that right leg over to the left side. Lift all the way up, up, up. And then rewind, right leg in the air. Option for a vinyasa with one leg off the floor, 2 legs on the floor, no legs, no arms, no vinyasa. Downward dog. Breathe in and out. Feet together. Left leg in the air. Nice and high. Bend your front knee or your standing leg. Square your hips. Then bring your right knee to your chest, round and curl, straighten the back leg. Shift forward. Step your left foot right underneath your knee. Walk your hands back. Take your back leg and straighten it. So you're not on a tightrope, you're on at least train tracks. Lengthen your spine, inhale, bring your hands to your hips, come all the way up. Good, make whatever adjustments you need to make here. Take your arms behind your back, fingers, wrists, forearms, elbows, or reverse prayer. We did this before. You might not remember, it was today. All right, shoulders forward, hips forward, breathe in. Lift your heart up. And then come not even halfway down, just maybe a quarter of the way down. So you can notice what's going on in your hips. Is that right hip turn out? How are we doing here? Good, now you know from past history where we're going with this, but don't be in a rush. Soften the front leg and take your weight into it. And then float the right leg off the floor, hips are squared, crown of the head forward. Point your toes back. Everything faces the floor except for the top of your head reaching forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Warrior 3 with a bound arm. Take your time. Stay there as long as you can. Beautiful. Good, Tish. Good. There you go. There you go. Now we're going to step that leg back that same 2 to 3 feet. Lift your heart up. Release your arms. Take the palms overhead. Release your thumb and forefinger. Inhale. Chin to chest as you exhale. Round your spine. So this is the one where we go with the rounded spine and we touch our forehead to our knee. Some of you do not have to bend your knee to get there. Some of you might have to separate your hands. Joe, just step that your back leg a little bit more to the outside, towards the dark blue block. Yeah. So you have more width in your hips. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Round your spine. Touch your head and your knee. And then tuck your chin to the chest. Roll up to stand. Bring it all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Good. Tilt forward. And then fold into your straight-legged pyramid. Did I leave something out? Somebody will holler if I did. And fold over your leg. Keep thinking about that left pinky toe, pushing it down into the earth. That'll help you bring the hips a little more square. One more breath. Rise up halfway. Rebend the front knee and step back to a low lunge. Lower the back knee to the floor. Good. Relax the toes. Option where your arms go. Option where your hands go. Bend the right knee and reach around with your left hand to grab it. If you don't reach the foot exactly, you can reach towards it. You can use a strap. Some of you can bring your arm out in front. Some of you can bring your forearm down. Some of you can go to both arms holding on to your leg and opening up both shoulders. So kind of do your variation of this pose. Because at the end of the day, you know, the textbook poses, they're beautiful, but they're not most of us, right? And the Instagram poses, they're definitely not most of us, okay? There's a whole thing about that going on, right? Inhale, one more breath. And then exhale, slowly release. Tuck your right toes underneath you. Lift the right knee up as you lift the left leg in the air. Open up your hip. Bend your knee. Option to stay right where you are or flip your dog over. Maybe dancer's bridge, maybe bridge or wheel. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, rewind, left leg in the air, three-legged. Option one more time for a three-legged vinyasa, four-legged, or no vinyasa at all. We meet in downward dog. Inhale and exhale. Softly bring your knees to the mat, everybody. Open your knees as wide as your mat. Touch your toes together. And bring your hands in between your legs as you bring your right ear towards the mat. Let your shoulders drape so the tops of your shoulders are bending towards or reaching towards the floor. Turn the other cheek, as they say. Come back to center. Release your arms out in front of you. Stretch them all the way forward. Bend your elbows to the floor. Come up on your knees. Couple of options here, guys. Interlace your fingers. Put your head between your hands. Lift your hips up. Find your dolphin with your head down. And maybe go into your headstand. Some of you may want to be practicing a forearm stand so your head is off the floor, with lifting one leg at a time. Some of you want to stay in child's pose or dolphin. Yes, yeah, there's a big head shaking yes. Yes, good. Good, Alex, look at that, nice. Bring your feet together, tuck your ribs in. I know I'm gonna screw you up when I tell you all these things. Good, Rach, Tish, awesome. When you've had enough of whatever you're doing, make your way back to child's pose. Good, Asra, you got it, girl. Come on, walk it in a little bit more. Put the weight in your forearms. You're there, you're getting there. You're there, okay. Back to child's pose, everybody. Take a moment. Slowly lift yourselves off your thighs. Bring your legs around to either side and bring your legs out in front of you. Rock side to side. Lift your flesh. Flex your feet. Bring your hands by your knees. Lift up nice and tall. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up overhead. Reach out of your waistline, ground your hips. Exhale, reach forward, hinge forward. And if you can grab your feet, your toes, a block underneath your feet, grab what you can. Lift your heart, inhale. And exhale. No force. Just soft and easy release. Inhale, halfway lift. Release your hands from your feet. Lift up nice and tall. Bring your chin to your chest. Roll down slowly, slowly, slowly to the floor. When you get to the floor, bring your knees to your chest. We're going to take one back bend. You might have done a back bend before when we flipped our dogs. You may want to take another one. You may want to skip it. So now you're on your back. Hold on to your shins or ankles, or maybe your calves. And then see if you can place your feet to the floor while holding on. And then tilt your pelvis. You can be on a block to be supported here. Tilt your pelvis, point your pubic bone up. Push down through your big toe, ball of the foot, heel of the foot, pinky toe, and lift your hips up off the floor, like we did way back when in the beginning of class. Option to stay here, supported, not supported, maybe your hands come underneath you, but if you're ready and your spine is definitely kind of warmed up for this, bring your hands by your shoulders, palms facing, or palms down, fingers facing your shoulders. Rise up to the top of your head, and then maybe lift yourself up into your big, beautiful, heart-opening back bend. Energetically pulling your heels towards your buttocks, whether you're in bridge or vinyasa, and pulling your body towards each other. So it's energetic again. We're not going to see it so much. When you're ready to come down, top of the head, upper mid, lower back to the floor. We're only doing one, so hug your knees into your chest. Inhale. Take a spinal twist, move both legs over to the right side. Let your knees fall open. And then come back to the center to the other side. In the next few moments, if there's anything else you'd like to do to seal your practice for you today, and I encourage you to take that. Come back to your center. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Take your arms down by your side. Let your hips splay open. Let your palms be open and receptive. Take one more big breath in and an open mouth, sigh, out. Let go. Scan your body from the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet. Direct any breath to any attention that needs it, any places that are still feeling tense physically, mentally. keeping your breath. If you want to stay longer, just flip the camera off, flip my sound off. Otherwise, begin to reawaken fingers, wrists, toes, ankles, small movements first. And then draw your knees to your chest. Rest as long as you need, or make your way onto either side. And then make your way into a comfortable seat. Bringing your hands together at your heart center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace to all. So thank you for the opportunity to share and guide practice with you today. Thank you for being here and just doing the work you need on the mat. Whether that's just sitting there breathing or moving physically. It's your time, it's your practice, and it's our great community together that we get the opportunity to share together. So as we bow down and honor each other to the light, the peace, the goodness, the love within each one, namaste. Satnam, go in peace. Everybody have a wonderful Sunday. Happy Passover if you're celebrating. Happy week of everything else. Stay home, stay fit, stay healthy.